I don't know.
I like that.
I kind of like that too. Here's the downside for me is that now I think the writing's on the wall. What the Lions won't do at 20 in the draft is take a linebacker.
Well,
I think that's obvious to me. Depending. I mean, I guess if somebody ridiculous were to slide, it'd be hard to pass up on that. But even then, you've just signed two. You're going to agree to terms tomorrow with two linebackers. In addition to you've got your rookie from last year, Jared Davis, and your rookie Reeves Maben to fly around
guys,
as well.
Those guys aren't going anywhere.
So now I guess the concentration shifts over again to the defensive line where we thought it really should have been to start off with. But now if you've got these two guys pretty much signed as of tomorrow, what's it going to run you on your against the cap? The number for Kennard was they threw out the 3 years and $18.5 million. Those are the reports. So if it's $6 million hit, and let's say that it's something similar for Jones, both of these guys have roughly the same amount of experience, although Jones he's been more productive. Is this what is this going to leave the Lions left with? $15 to $18 million in cap space. You've got to sign a defensive tackle. You have to.
They really do. They really do. And I was reading some stuff about Sheldon Richardson during the break, and Detroit is often mentioned as a good spot for him. I'm not crazy about Kennard. I like the Jones signing. I'm not crazy about losing Haloti Ngata because that really increases the sense of urgency. But this is why you wait until after free agency. This is another layer that leads into what you're going to do on the draft. Like all the mock drafts we do before the combine, we're like, well, let's also wait to see what happens in the combine. Combine takes place. Some guys' stock goes up. Some guys' stock go down. And then you get to free agency. You mentioned it. The idea of them taking a linebacker at 20 loses some steam today. It's not impossible, but it's less likely.
Pretty much.
The idea of them going defensive tackle in the draft
just went up.
I mean,
substantially.
They may, whether it's Vita Vea or Mo Hurst, there's going to be somebody that, I mean, do you think this has anything to do with the way they feel about the draft class?
Yep.
I do too.
I feel about the draft class and feel about who's going to be available to them. I tell you what, this is the idea that just popped into my head. That my next move from the Lions, it's not in free agency, but it's what I'm thinking they need to do. Move up for Vita Vea.
Yep. I wondered about that too.
I mean, what's it going to take to move up from 20 to 10 or 20 to 11 to get up there?
To make sure you get him?
Yeah.
Look, I'm a big Vita Vea fan. I think in all accounts, the first thing I thought when I saw him and watched him was he's the next Haloti Ngata. He's that giant guy in the middle of the defensive line that can run and can make plays and can get to a quarterback who's not going to have quarterbacks actually just run away from him like he's standing still. And in the run game, he's like blocking a sofa, not blocking a chair. So Vita Vea is the guy that I want. And after the moves today, it makes me wonder if he's the guy the Lions want.
Well, linebacker is no longer on my radar at 20.
It doesn't feel like it.
No, I mean, as much as I love Roquan Smith, the thought of getting the kid from Boise State, or even the Rashaan Evans from Alabama, nope, no, things just shifted.
They got Jared Davis and Jalen Reeves-Maben in last year's draft. They have now signed 2 free agent linebackers. Oh, by the way, they brought back Tavon Wilson, the safety, today. But they haven't brought back Tahir Whitehead, who's a free agent. I feel like he's gone. Paul Warlew, they signed last year. Is he a free agent?
I think he's still here.
Okay.
I'd have to check that, but I think he's still here.
All right.
I mean, now it becomes more apparent. Maybe the 2 names on the top of my list right now at 20, or to move up if you can. Move up to get Vita Vea, or stay at 20 and maybe you take Darius Geis.
What about the signings today? Could it mean they might be shifting to more of a 3-4 look?
That could, absolutely. Well, they say they want to be. They'll run some of it. Patricia has said that he wants to have a blended defense, and that speaks to it. You've signed a guy who's an inside linebacker, or you're going to sign a guy who's an inside linebacker, and you're going to sign a guy who has the ability to rush the passer, and the versatility is what Matt Patricia's all about with his defense. That's what he wants. He wants versatile players, and to be able to go 4-3 to 3-4 and vice versa. So
yeah, if you got
it
guys,
makes all the sense.
We keep hearing the term. We've seen. Actually, the two linebackers they signed today, they both said the same thing: versatility. One guy started inside, expected to play outside. Another guy that can do both. This could be the shift to a 3-4.
Well, and then there was the
they let a defensive lineman walk and picked up two linebackers.
Yeah. And the Bears signed or they're going to sign a tight end, right?
Yeah, they're going to sign the guy. That was another layer of news today. The guy that was considered most on the Lions' radar if they traded Eric Ebron, Trey Burton, the tight end from Philadelphia, signed with the Bears today. So
and he signed he's going to sign for 4 years and $32 million is the report. So that's $8 million a year. You've got Ebron at $8.5 million on this last year. Kind of seems like that makes sense. That I'll take Ebron. I think he's more productive. Yeah, I'll keep him for the year rather than
provided nobody blows your doors off with a trade offer.
Right. Well, and there's still time to come with that. But
248-539-9797. All right, lots of movement going on here. I don't know how much the Lions fan base knows about these players that they brought in, but what's your gut telling you today? What do you when you hear these signings? Devon Kennard, Giants, gets a 3-year deal with the Lions. Outside linebacker, can play inside as well. Christian Jones, leading tackler from the Bears, linebacker, signs with Detroit. Haloti Ngata appears to be going to Philly. Looks like Tahir Whitehead might be done in Detroit. Maybe not. What does it mean for the draft? What does it mean for free agency? What do they need to do next? We'll get more into the next today at 12:35. Want your phone calls? It's Karsch and Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.